If you're curious which zodiac sign is most likely to become famous, you're in for some good news. All of them. The celebrity natal charts of these stars from classic Hollywood include a famous figure from every sign. Many people consult their horoscope to find out if they're compatible with their partner or if they'll get that job promotion, but some believe that astrology can also be used to tell us about our personalities. Each of the 12 sun signs of the zodiac ostensibly has innate strengths, weaknesses, and other qualities that comprise who we are. By exploring the zodiac signs of historic figures or old Hollywood celebrities, we can see which star qualities we all possess. Looking at old Hollywood zodiac signs can also suggest how each sign deals with stress, fame, and life in the spotlight. Considering the dearth of scandals in old Hollywood, many of these celebrities definitely had some problems that may have been either helped or hindered by their zodiac signs. Here's what the celestial stars have to say about the stars of Hollywood. Hey folks, before we start with today's video, remember to subscribe as it really helps the channel. Although Sir Charles Spencer Chaplin's silent on camera for a majority of his career, he still became one of Hollywood's biggest stars. An Aries born on April 16, 1889, Chaplin got his start on the British stage when he was still a child. After coming to America, he rose to fame in the silent era of Hollywood, mostly for portraying a clown-like yet sentimental character known as the Tramp. Extremely multi-talented, Chaplin was also known for his directing and filmmaking skills, and even wrote the musical scores for some of his movies. Chaplin's boldness, passion, and drive certainly correspond to the ram-like nature of Aries. Ruled by Mars, his vision to succeed made him a perfectionist, as he was known for shooting hundreds of takes and scrapping actors in the middle of production. Chaplin's impulsivity and lack of patience led to numerous scandalous affairs and several marriages. Another Aries-like trait was his desire to forge his own path through Hollywood while still retaining his independence by forming his own studio. Born on May 4, 1929, Audrey Hepburn grew up in Belgium and began her performing career as a dancer. She captured Hollywood's eyes and heart after appearing in Gigi on Broadway. Hepburn often played glamorous yet down-to-earth women, gaining fans thanks to her personality as well as her fashion sense. After her most memorable role in 1961's Breakfast at Tiffany's, Hepburn continued to make movies and earn Oscar nominations for her work, but decided to focus on humanitarian efforts in her later life, especially as an ambassador for UNICEF. Hepburn adopted the Taurus's trademark stubbornness in her careful selection of roles and her dedication to her signature style. She may not have taken many risks in her career, but those projects she did select provided a well-rounded portfolio. Thanks to her confidence, strength, and demand for respect, Hepburn succeeded in becoming one of the select few to achieve EGOT status, a title reserved for those who have won at least one Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. Hepburn's soft sensuality and classic beauty were evident in Venus's influence on Taurus as well, and women will most likely copy her Breakfast at Tiffany's style for years. Marilyn Monroe may be the epitome of the so-called twin sign. The glamorous persona that made her famous was a complete invention. Born Norma Jean Mortensen on June 1, 1926, she never knew her father and had little memory of her mother, who was placed in a mental institution. Monroe was a victim of several sexual assaults as a young girl, was married at 16, and started a modeling career before making it big in Hollywood. By bleaching her hair blonde and changing her name, Monroe adopted a persona that oozed both sex and glamour, and the world ate it up. Monroe's breathy vixen side, confident and fun-loving, hid the deeply insecure person she really was. Perhaps because of this lack of confidence, Monroe had several failed marriages and was often reprimanded for being late to shoots, though she frequently blamed her tardiness on stress and illness. At one point, she apparently grew weary of her adopted persona and tried to find work as a legitimate dramatic actress. Geminis are influenced by Mercury and air elements, both of which are thought to imply an intellectual nature. Despite what many perceive to be her bimbo persona, Monroe lived up to these influences. She even had an alleged affinity for Albert Einstein. Natalie Wood was a Cancer, born on July 20, 1938. Her mother, Maria, quickly overtook her life, pushing her to pursue an acting career when she was still a child. Maria controlled nearly everything her daughter did. She even told her about a curse that left Wood with a lifelong fear of water. During a 1981 boating trip, she tragically drowned. If cancers are sensitive crabs, then Wood was definitely a gentle girl who was forced to build a hard shell around herself in order to cope. Holding her emotional turmoil tightly inside, Wood rebelled against her circumstances with sex. This rebellion manifested in numerous affairs, marriages, divorces, and even losing her virginity at 16 to Rebel Without a Cause director Nicholas Ray during her screen test. With the emotional moon's influence, Wood was a tender-hearted girl who just wanted to be loved, all the way up to her mysterious death. Robert Mitchum's early life was as gritty as many of the characters he later portrayed. After dropping out of school, he traveled the country by hitching rides on boxcars, worked as a professional boxer, and served on a chain gang. Mitchum eventually went to Hollywood and started his acting career in westerns, later finding a place for himself in the film noir genre, a career move which propelled his bad boy persona. Night of the Hunter and the original Cape Fear became two of his most memorable films due to the creepy villains he portrayed. Mitchum emitted a cool, rebellious vibe that made him a perfect Leo. Even when he wasn't acting like a tough cowboy or soldier, Mitchum carried himself with pride and panache, just like the powerful lion. He vocally opposed the Vietnam War and was arrested for possession of cannabis way back in 1948, proving he wasn't afraid of consequences. Mitchum's tough guy charm was also enhanced by the influence of the sun, which gave him a hot temper. Born August 23, 1912, Gene Kelly learned how to dance at a young age. He proved his affinity for hard work by paying for school with the money he earned teaching dance lessons. Kelly got his start on Broadway, moved to Hollywood, and sought to differentiate himself from the other big actor-dancer at the time, Fred Astaire. By adopting a more physical dance style and wearing everyday clothes, he did just that. After several successful musicals, Kelly made what is probably his best-known film, Singin' in the Rain. Virgos are known for their perfectionism, a quality Kelly possessed in spades. He was highly disciplined and expected his co-workers to work just as hard as he did. At one point, he even brought Debbie Reynolds to tears. Kelly was also able to use the Virgo quality of seeing details to his advantage. He was a pioneer in reducing a storyline into dance steps and camera movements. He was so passionate about dance that when musicals went out of style in the 1960s, Kelly employed the Virgo tenacity and loyalty to keep sharing his dance choreography via television. Born Margarita Carmen Cancino on October 17, 1918, Rita Hayworth changed herself almost completely to get into show business. After dancing professionally as a child, she was given a Hollywood studio contract. When Hayworth's career wasn't progressing, the studio and her husband talked her into downplaying her Latina heritage. In addition to changing her name, she dyed her hair auburn, underwent skin lightening, and was given electric shocks on her forehead to raise her hairline. The transformation allowed her to become one of cinema's biggest sex symbols in the 1930s and 40s. As a Libra, Hayworth thrived off the attention, and her sociable inclinations meant she was happy to be in the spotlight. The glamorous lifestyle of the celebrity suited her persona, and the grace and charm she shared led others to find her even more attractive. Since Libra is ruled by Venus, Hayworth Pretty Appropriate became a well-known symbol of beauty. However, Libra is all about balance, and while looks fade, Hayworth's career did as well. 5 failed marriages and continued alcohol abuse brought the high of her early career crashing down to a not-so-glamorous end. Grace Kelly was born November 12, 1929, and utilized her Scorpio beauty to work as a model while in acting school. Her classic charm made her a better fit for film than the stage, so she moved to Hollywood following her high school graduation. Kelly formed a friendship with director Alfred Hitchcock and starred in 3 of his films. In 1955, she was earning bigger paychecks than almost every other actress, but she decided to retire so she could marry Prince Rainier III of Monaco. Although she never returned to the screen, her life as a royal guaranteed her celebrity status for life. Perhaps it was her Scorpio nature that led to such a long working relationship with Hitchcock, wanting to dig deep and find hidden meanings or primary tenets of the director's films. Kelly's decision to completely change her life also demonstrates the Scorpio's comfort and willingness to transform themselves as many times as necessary. The fact that she never looked back aligns with Pluto's influence and its association with death and rebirth. While many people know him for his singing, Frank Sinatra was also a movie star. Born December 12, 1915, he began his career singing in nightclubs in order to emulate his idol, Bing Crosby. Sinatra scored his first film role in the early 1940s, but not until 1953's From Here to Eternity did he show audiences that he wasn't just a singer. After an Oscar win, another nomination, and praise from critics, Sinatra became a member of the Rat Pack and appeared with his crew in Ocean's 11 and a few other movies. Embracing the Sagittarius's outgoing and friendly charm, Sinatra was always up for a carefree adventure. Although he was accused of using mafia ties to help his career, Sinatra's uncontrollable excitement would have probably helped him anyway. His ability to influence others, desire to try new things, and reckless approach to life led to 4 marriages. The archer's love of doing as much as possible in one lifetime would account for his tandem careers in both music and film. Born December 25, 1899, Humphrey Bogart's first starring role was a drawing used in a baby food advertisement. After being expelled from school, he was unsure what to do with his life, but eventually found himself in theater. Bogart enjoyed acting and moved to Hollywood, playing mainly criminals before breaking this typecasting with the part of Sam Spade. Casablanca, released in 1942, cemented his career as one of the greatest American film actors of all time. He appeared in more than 80 movies during his lifetime. Whether he was playing a villain or a grisly ship captain, Bogart always kept his Capricorn cool. Hard work allowed him to rise from school failure to Oscar winner, and his determination to succeed led him to the top. Bogart embodied the caring provider in his relationships, but his devotion to work ended 3 of his marriages. As an earth sign, Bogart's level-headedness, honesty, and simplicity endeared him to fans, one of the reasons his cult-like following continues even today. James Dean only made 3 movies during his career, but he still became one of Hollywood's biggest icons. Born February 8, 1931, he appeared in a Pepsi commercial and worked as a parking attendant until he decided to relocate from California to New York. A few television shows and a Broadway play helped him gain notoriety, and he returned to Hollywood. Rebel Without a Cause is largely responsible for Dean's spot in American pop culture, as his too cool character lived on longer than he did. A fan of racing, Dean died at age 24 in a car crash. The rebellious Aquarius is an almost too perfect fit for Dean. His unique and eager energy made him highly likable, but a detached quality made him unattainable. Almost stereotypical qualities for a movie star. Aquarians are often seen as visionaries. Despite Dean's short-lived career, many people saw him as such. Thanks to an influence from Uranus, Aquarians often have a need to do things that will both affect and inspire the world. This is something Dean certainly accomplished, even if unintentionally. Born on February 27, 1932, Elizabeth Taylor's career as a performer started only 3 years later. At age 10, she appeared in her first movie and was shot to stardom by National Velvet 2 years later. Taylor's acting skills and sultry looks carried her through a very long career, but her personal life was a drama in itself. Taylor underwent marriages, divorces, affairs, and scandals, all after making the difficult transition from child actor to adult actor. Pisces love a good fantasy, which may have prompted Taylor's desire to create a fairy tale life. Her ability to empathize with characters and lose herself in her roles brought her much praise for her work, and her water sign fluidity helped her transition through her 8 marriages. An affinity for beauty accounted for her interest in jewelry and perfume, and a very Piscean reliance on escapism may have prompted her frequent relationship changes.